According to reports, Ejule town in Ofu local government area of Kogi State has been invaded by a group of armed individuals, resulting in casualties among the residents. The attack reportedly began at 3 a.m. on Thursday. Tragically, an Okada rider and the wife of a local youth leader were among those killed. The Okada rider was hit by a stray bullet, while the woman lost her life while searching for her husband. The assailants also reportedly set fire to a family house in the town. The exact number of casualties remain uncertain as the situation remains tense. A resident speaking over the phone informed our correspondent that there are additional deceased individuals seen on the streets, making it unsafe for people to go outside. Retired Commander Jerry Omadara, the security advisor to Governor Yaya Bello, acknowledged the incident but stated that he is awaiting further details. Attempts to contact the police public relations officer in the state, SP William Aya, were unsuccessful. Hello viewers, welcome to Daily Politics. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy and governance. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed, standing in for Hamza Idris. Tonight's conversation will focus on Kogi State and emerging issues ahead of the governorship election scheduled to hold on the 11th of November later this year. Following the lifting of the ban on public campaigns in the state on June 14, 2023, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has paved the way for a highly anticipated off-season gubernatorial election. The political atmosphere in the state has become really charged with anxiety, horse trading, and strategic maneuvering as political actors vie for the coveted seat of the governor. On the program tonight, we delve into the unfolding events where factors such as power shift agitation, ethnicity, religion, and competence are shaping the race. And to shed some light on the issues this evening, we're joined by Farouk Adejo. He is the media aide to the governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party in the Kogi State governorship election, Murtala Ajaka. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll set the ball in motion. Right, welcome back and welcome to Daily Politics. Let's set the ball in motion. Once again, join us on the program is the media aide to the SDP candidate in the Kogi State governorship election, Mr. Farouk Adejo. Is here to speak on some of the political developments in Kogi State at the moment. Good evening and thank you very much for making time.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Good evening, viewers.
Right. First and foremost, let's set the conversation in motion by gauging the political atmosphere in Kogi State. What do you make of it, especially now that INEC has pretty much lifted the political campaign activities in the state?
Well, ordinarily, people should be excited that the ban on political activities has been lifted. But as of today, being Thursday, the truth is that Kogi is very tense. Very, 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 very tense. Some gunmen that we now have discovered that they were agents of state or the agents of the state governor invaded a sleepy community, Ejule, last night and started shooting and burning down houses.
Allegedly, right?
No, it's not alleged.
There is no confirmation. I mean,
not alleged anymore. The Commissioner of Police, from the reports we have read, the Commissioner of Police of the state has already claimed credit.
Claimed credit for what exactly?
For the attack that the people who came there were...
According to our reports, which is something we can verify.
Yes.
We made efforts to get in touch with the public relations officer and we have not received any comments yet. And from the government side, they have confirmed that that incident did actually happen. However, the perpetrators have not been identified. So I think it will be an error to ascribe it to one individual or the other. Okay,
well, I think we're in in the present times, you know, when news is broken, I mean, it does not take the normal traditional waiting for this and that. If you Google on the internet now, you will see that there was a press conference by the Commissioner of Police of the state. And the Commissioner of Police has identified somebody that has been killed. He said the person is a criminal. His name is Kabir Okwo. The person has been killed. He listed several allegations against him. And he said
how is that linked to Yahya Bello? Because you mentioned the name of the governor. How is that linked to him?
It's very simple. Okay, this is it. We had, before now, we had publicly accused the governor of trying to kill that fellow. Okay, until now, there's no record anywhere that he has denied it. We have accused him, and we have not withdrawn the accusation, and he has not denied it up till now. This person we're talking about was freed from prison in 2018 by the governor. The governor pardoned him from prison. He's an APC chieftain. Okay, the governor pardoned him from prison.
This all sounds a bit speculative, Mr. Farouk, because obviously we know of KOGI's history when it comes to electoral violence, especially in recent times. Are you saying that what has happened in Ejule Town, for instance, is in any way connected to political developments in Kogi State?
Exactly, sir. Exactly, sir. That is what I'm saying. I wish you have the reports of the press conference here. The commissioner acknowledged that the governor freed him from prison. And since he was freed from prison, he has refused to repent of his crimes, and he has gone ahead to commit several crimes, including attacking the Navy and seizing guns from the Navy. And they had to appeal to him to return the guns, 4 AK-47 rifles that he seized from the Navy. They had to appeal to him to return the guns back to the Navy. He listed several crimes and attributed those crimes to the man that was killed. His pictures are being displayed by security agents as if it's a trophy now, the picture of his body. So
the only connection, if I get you correctly, why you're linking it to Yahya Bello is that he was the person that pardoned the person who is at the center
Okay, then let's even leave that. Yahya Bello is the chief security officer of Kogi State.
Right.
So if there's a security operation there, are we going to say that the chief security officer is ignorant of it?
So you would say the same thing about Zamfara, you would say the same thing about Plateau State, you would say the same thing about Katsina State or any other state where there are killings. You would say that? No, that the governor is responsible?
We do not have any military action in Kogi State. Kogi is not Zamfara. Neither is Kogi, Kaduna, what do they call that place, Briningwari or whatever. We don't have any military action in Kogi State. Yeah, but Kogi is
in Nigeria, and Nigeria does have a security problem.
No, but if you're citing the examples of Zamfara and most of these other places, these are places that we know that the federal government authorized military actions against known bandits and criminals. But as we talk, there's no such action in Kogi. But I'm saying this, and I'm saying it on my honor, and I'm saying with all sense of responsibility. Okay? The governor's commissioner for information issued a statement this morning that there was an operation whereby security personnel went to arrest a criminal and killed some people. Then he withdrew that statement. That happened today. You see, we can decide to be politically correct, or we can decide to be truthful. The truth of the matter is this. The governor is jittery about the upcoming election. And I'll tell you about this fellow that was killed today. We, as SDP, we cannot determine who will support us and who will not. If somebody says he's supporting you, go and tell the person, don't support me. You cannot determine. But this fellow was a supporter of the governor, a known supporter of the governor, a regular guest in government house, and publicly, and I have his video. If my phone is here, I will reel out these videos for you. Publicly, he renounced support for the governor. Said he wasn't supporting the governor anymore, and that he was going to support the candidate of the SDP. And since then, the guy now became a target. About 2 weeks ago, his hotel was burnt down in that same village. This was on air. It was everywhere. The video went viral. The hotel was burnt down. And last night, they were reported all over the social media. It was all over that a certain naval officer had left Okene with a team of security people to go invade Kogi East. And 3 a.m. this morning, they invaded the place, burnt down houses. A woman was shot. They have not denied that they are not their people. You understand? And with all due respect, sir, you cannot deny for them
I can't hold water for Yabelo, nor can I hold it for any other person.
Yes, sir.
But the fact of the matter is, this is in the realm of speculation because there is nothing official that links any of these criminal activities or violent activities. I mean, with all due respect, sir,
yes,
you are a member of the opposition. I don't expect that you're going to speak kindly of Yabelo's track record in Kogi State.
Exactly.
But back to the political situation in the state, right? You are the media aide to the SDP governorship candidate.
Yes.
And for a lot of people, it's a three-horse race. You have Ododo of the APC, Ajaka of the SDP, and Dino Melai of the PDP. Give me an idea as to how this is shaping up to be perhaps one of the most keenly contested elections in the history of Kogi State.
Okay, good. You're not even very correct as it's a three-horse race. There's a fourth candidate that is quite strong.
Which is?
His name is Leke Abejide.
Of the
ADC.
ADC.
Yes.
It does appear that you have three major horses.
Yes.
It does appear from the outside looking in.
Okay. From those of us who are in Kogi, we know that
it's a four-horse race.
If there's an election today, from the SDP, I'm telling you, and you can cross-check. Of course, the media can do opinion survey. You can do opinion survey. There are a lot of other investigations you can do. If there's an election today, Murtala Ajaka will emerge winner. The possible runner-up may be Ododo. But the third position may either be Dino or it may be Abejide. Nobody can say that for sure. But as I tell you, Abejide and Dino are almost at par.
I mean, I don't expect anything less from an SDP supporter.
Yeah, that's why I challenge you. Yeah. That's why I challenge you to conduct a survey.
I'm just saying it's very presumptuous. I don't see any politician come in and say, "Oh, somebody else is going to win."
I'm giving you a hypothesis now.
Right.
When you want to do research, when you want to do what do you call it? You bring up a hypothesis. I'm giving the hypothesis that the most popular candidate is Murtala Ajaka. But anyway, let me give you the analysis. Murtala Ajaka came from the SDP, from the ADC, APC, only very recently. Right. And why did he come from the APC?
He didn't get the ticket. I think that's...
he wasn't allowed to get the ticket.
Right.
You know, he didn't get the ticket. We presuppose that he contested for the ticket and lost.
Right.
12 hours on the morning of the primaries. People that were suspected are agents of Yaya Bello emerged with a restraining order from a state high court and said he was not allowed to participate in the race. That was why he didn't contest. If he had contested, there was no way they would have beaten him. I keep saying, whether fair or foul, they couldn't have beaten him. So the only option they had was to restrain him from contesting. So he went to the SDP. But that didn't dim his popularity. Okay? He didn't dim his popularity. And you see, I made one analysis that people kept saying, no, you are talking about tribe. No, it's not about tribal things. Kogi, before now, we have had elections and elections. Yes, in most elections there are violence, but I mean, the record of violence in Kogi election has been very, very minimal. But right now, there's some level of desperation that is driving this violence. And that desperation can't be coming from us in the SDP, because we believe we have the people behind us. Not one person has been identified to have been attacked by anybody from the SDP. Okay? Most of the attacks we have, or arrests we have, is coming from the, not, I won't even say the APC, because it's coming from the governor.
Recently, we had the unfortunate incident on the attack of the governor's convoy, and I think we'll circle back to that, because that is one of those issues that is ruminating as far as Kogi State politics is concerned. But on the issue of ethnicity, for instance, which you just pointed out, for a lot of people, it is at the center of some of the political conversations that is being undertaken right now in Kogi in the build-up to the governorship election. Your candidate is from Kogi East, right? Yes. And there appears to be a groundswell of support, politically at least. We had the chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum, who, alongside many other political figures in Kogi from the East, as well as certain members of other political parties who are gubernatorial candidates that have stepped down to endorse your candidate. And the key issue around the reason why they endorsed him was because it's time for a power shift to the east. It's safe to say that your party, your candidate, is weaponizing ethnicity so that you can get an upper hand in the election.
No, that is not correct. Let me.
Is there no agitation for a power shift?
No, there's no agitation for power shift as it is. The only agitation for power shift, and which I think is legitimate.
You just said there's no agitation for power shift.
No, I mean from KOGI East. That is what I mean. The only agitation for power shift, which I know, and which I think is very legitimate, is the people of KOGI West Senatorial District. That is where the Dino and Abijide comes from. All right. Now, I was a member of the SDP. The SDP, the candidate of the PDP won the ticket. The person who won the ticket in the PDP is from KOGI West, isn't it? Now, in the APC, a lot of people from the West had expected that after 8 years of the governor from the central, that he will use his influence, because the man who emerged now, who is also from the central, emerged through the influence of the governor. I don't think anybody has.
It was a direct primaries.
Yes.
It was a direct primary. So it's safe to say members of the APC voted Mr. Ododo to become their candidate.
You see, this primaries we are talking about is a subject of several litigation, multiple litigations right now. Okay.
But it doesn't change the fact that he's the candidate.
Yes, he is the candidate. Right. You understand? But Smart Adeyemi, for instance, Ambassador Useni, and a few other people are in court, and they are saying those votes were allocated. That it was not the vote of anybody, that those votes were allocated.
I would say that at the moment, Mr. Farouk, with all due respect, that conversation is immaterial.
Yes, I'm not denying that. What I'm saying,
there's no court pronouncement about all of those allegations.
There's none, but it's not conclusive. It is not conclusive. If you say that he emerged through direct primaries, yes, that was the mode of primaries that led to the declaration of Ododo. But was he voted for?
Yes, that would be the answer, because INEC recognizes him as the gubernatorial candidate.
Yes, INEC is not a court of law. Right. That's why I'm telling you that it's before a court of law. If at the end of the day, the court of law now says, yes, the election is proper, I will totally agree with you. But as long as it is sub judice, you understand, I want to give that window that election is still contentious. But in any case, the point is this. Ododo emerged from the central, okay? Alhaji Ajaka, who was prevented through a court order, a restraining order from contesting, Alhaji Ajaka later moved to the SDP and did primaries and emerged as a candidate. But apart from Ajaka, there are several other candidates. You said you just reported that about 5 or 6 other candidates stepped down for him. In KOGI, there are still other candidates. There's a candidate of the Accord Party, a former chief of naval staff. There's a candidate of NMPP, and there are other candidates. So I do not agree that it's actually an ethnic thing. The truth of the matter is that who is more popular across KOGI? It's a very simple thing. Everybody comes from one ethnicity or the other. Right. And the expectation is that the ethnicity you come from, we're in Nigeria, we have to face the truth. Apart from being politically correct, the ethnicity you come from, the likelihood is that you'll be very popular with your people first, isn't it? You'll be very popular with your people first, before other people. If you are not popular at home, why should I want to support you? If your own people, for instance, reject you, why should you be attractive to me? Those are questions we must answer. So now we have the 3 senatorial districts presenting candidates. Okay? Ajaka comes from the east, Ododo comes from the central, Dino and Abijide come from the west. So that is what it is. Now, who is the most popular candidate? Who has been able to cross over to the other senatorial districts?
Okay, so on that particular note, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
Which is the most dominant ethnic group in KOGI State?
The most dominant ethnic group in KOGI State by population 1963 and all the population so far, yes, is the Igalas of KOGI. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, I mean, it sounded like you needed to go around.
No, I don't need to go around. You see, you know why I'm answering that?
It's very clear. They have more local governments than any other ethnic tribe, isn't it?
No, that is not well. Yes, that is correct. Right. But the point is that not only Igalas live in Kogi East.
Right. No. I'm getting to a point.
Yes, that is why that is why I seem to have gone round. Right. There are Basanges, right. There are Basankomos, there are Nupes, there are Kakandas, right. There are Igbos.
It's a mixed bag of every.
Yes, and they are indigenous to Kogi East.
Right. Point
they are indigenous. That is their home. They didn't come from any other place.
But to this particular conversation,
it is correct. It will be more correct if you say the Kogi East Senatorial District is more populous. Do you understand? It's more populous. Right. Not identified an ethnic group.
And that's why your candidate, who comes from that particular part of Kogi, is appealing to the sensibilities and sentimentality of tribe, isn't it? To make it a point where it's about power shift and it's also about the turn of a particular ethnic group to produce the next governor.
Are you saying this out of assumption or
no? Out of the permutations that have been stated, that have been obvious.
How? I don't know how obvious that is. The man has campaigned so far. He wants to be governor of Kogi State. That is why I asked who has crossed over to the other districts. The deputy state chairman of the PDP from Kogi West decamped from PDP to join Ajaka as running mate. A lot of other big wigs across the state have decided to join him. Okay? Now, is he appealing to, I mean, if you want to talk about population, the population...
No, I want us to talk about identity politics. And I know, Mr. Farouk, you've been in politics for quite some time, isn't it?
Yes.
There's nothing strange about identity politics, whether it's Nigeria or it's in the United States. But you're not willing to admit that your candidate enjoys some advantage because of the population of his people.
You see, the way you frame it, if you look as if the only reason he enjoys any advantage... I
never said that's the only reason. No. I'm only asking you if that is an issue.
The way you framed it, we appear as if the only reason he enjoys advantage is because it comes from a particular...
I'm saying it is one of the reasons.
I've already told you, sir. I've already told you that anybody coming from a particular ethnicity, the likelihood, in all likelihood, he will enjoy the support of his people first, before he can think of the support of other people. If you're not popular, I mean, we're talking of elections. If you're not popular in your own base, you cannot bring votes from your own base. Where are the other people supposed to collect votes and come and give you?
So to be categorically clear, right, Mr. Farouk, you're saying that your candidate, your party is not trying to milk the ethnic coloration.
It's not. The ethnic thing is natural. You come from a particular place and you're contesting. The guy cannot deny his identity, his ethnic identity today because he's contesting the election. He happens to be Gala. There's nothing you can do about that. Neither can I do anything about that. Otodo is Ibira. There's nothing you can do about that. And there's nothing I can do about that. Now, the fact that Kogi East Senatorial District enjoys a higher population than others does not mean that if somebody from Kogi East contests, does not mean that people in Kogi East will not vote for somebody else. It doesn't.
So you're saying there's no guarantee that you would win? Because earlier on you were saying that you were very sure that you're going to win.
No, I haven't said that. What I'm saying is that the fact that you come from Kogi East, what you're saying is that he enjoys the ethnic advantage and is milking it. And I'm telling you that he is popular because he's the best candidate, not because he's a Gala or because he comes from Kogi East. Okay? And that if you're not a popular person, I'll give you an example. Dino, for instance, stakeholders in Kogi West, where he comes from, are leaving PDP in droves. I just told you about the deputy state chairman. The treasurer of the PDP has left. A lot of other stakeholders.
You just mentioned 2 people. That doesn't sound like a lot.
I can. If you want us to start calling names, I can call plenty names for you today. Deide Ashagun is one of the major stakeholders.
That's 3.
Deide has left.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about...
No, I can go on and start giving you names.
I don't think you can list all of them because at the end of the day, you might do 10 and that's still not a lot. But
no, I said stakeholders. I didn't say everybody.
Yeah,
I didn't say everybody there.
Sometimes some of those movements are for personal interest. But let's talk about SDP as a political party and the platform. It is not a particularly well-known party in Kogi State in terms of election victory. What can you tell us about the platform that your candidate is on, and whether or not they do have the appeal to and the bandwidth to get the votes on election day?
Yes, the SDP has not won governorship election or any major election in Kogi. But to say that the SDP is unknown in Kogi would be very factually incorrect. In the 2019 election, there was a candidate, Natasha Akpoti, who ran for governorship, and we knew what happened to him. Violence and violence and violence. Her headquarters was burned down. In the presence of the then IG, the DG of the DSS, the chairman of INEC, at a peace meeting in what do they call that hotel in Lokoja? IGN's hotel. There's a hotel in Lokoja. In that hotel, where they were holding peace meeting in the banquet hall, Natasha was wrestled down by thugs and beaten up. Her clothes were torn. These things happened. Okay? So the SDP is not a new party in Kogi State. The SDP has structures, and the SDP has its own share of popularity. And Ajaka's entrance into SDP with the popularity of Ajaka has boosted the SDP, yes. So SDP is not an unknown party in Kogi State at all, right. By any stretch of definition or imagination.
Okay, so let's circle back to the situation around the tense atmosphere, the violent developments around politicking, especially now that the campaign bans have been lifted. You would see more heightened political activities, and that is bound to bring about some conflicts, some clashes, and likely there would be violent attacks. The governor was recently attacked. His convoy was attacked, and the explanation, you're smiling. I don't know if it's a funny thing when your governor was attacked violently and his aides were injured. The point is this: he or his camp at least believed that your candidate is masterminding some of these attacks, especially when some political opponents are coming towards Kogi East to meet stakeholders or to campaign.
Sorry, sir. Number one, you see there are a lot of illogicalities here. Number one, the governor claims that his aides sustained injuries. I challenge him, let him name one person. One person that sustained injury. You understand? But we have people that sustained injury.
Are you saying the attack didn't happen?
Nobody attacked the governor. The governor attacked people, sir. The governor attacked people. Nobody attacked him. With all due respect, what we have in Kogi is an outlaw. We have an outlaw in government in Kogi. The governor drove the car himself. The candidate of the SDP was living in Abuja, and unfortunately, or maybe unfortunately, a lot of these people on social media were now transmitting the movement of the candidate of the SDP live, and the governor pursued the SDP candidate from here. We knew when he left. We had information that when he left, he asked people to attack them on the road. Those people could not. The governor crossed the convoy with his own car and blocked the convoy. His men were the only people who were shooting. So you have, I suppose you have evidence of what you're saying? Yes, we do have evidence. It's very simple. That the governor drove himself into individuals. I have said this publicly on TV. I have issued statement. He has not denied it once. The governor, I mean, we're not talking about something that happened in secrecy. People saw him at Natako. His car, a Mercedes-Benz with his crest, crossed, blocked the convoy, and he came out of the car. And men, his chief detail, shot at our candidate. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Farouk, we're going to take a quick break because I think it's time for us to take a quick break. And perhaps let the temperature come down a little bit before we further double down on developments in Kogi ahead of the gubernatorial election that is just around the corner. Join us after the break as we continue with this conversation.
Welcome back, and in case you're just joining us, you're watching Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter. You can watch us live on YouTube. Back here in the studio, the conversation is centered on developments around the preparations in KOGI State for the next gubernatorial election. It is an off-season election, and as you can imagine, it is quite a tense situation. So we're discussing the optics, the politicking, the issues, and unpacking it with the media aid of the gubernatorial candidate of the Social Democratic Party in KOGI State, Mr. Ajaka, and Farouk. Mr. Farouk is here to continue to double down on what some of the issues are and how the SDP is positioned to take the victory when the polls open later this year. Just before the break, you did make some pronouncements about your position on Yahya Bello. It's safe to say that there's no love lost between you two. But in the interest of KOGI State, for instance, do you think that it doesn't help when the conversation is toxic, the conversation is poisonous, whether it's APC to SDP or APC to PDP or PDP to SDP or PDP to APC? Do you believe that all political parties have a responsibility to lower the temperature in KOGI State for the interest of KOGI State?
Thank you very much. This is the truth of the situation.
You didn't say yes or no.
Well,
the question is, do you think all the parties have a responsibility?
The point I'm trying to make is this. No other party has raised any tension at any time in KOGI. This isn't the first time elections are happening in KOGI. There have been several elections before Yahya Bello came on board. Okay? For instance, the last election that happened before Yahya Bello came, Governor Wada was in charge. Not one person. At least two major elections, the presidential and National Assembly and House of Assembly elections, not one life was lost, one was not lost. Issues of thuggery was almost non-existent. Okay? Abubakar Audu and Wada contested the election. Abubakar Audu was coasting to victory when he died. Then Bello was awarded his vote. Bello was not a candidate in that election. The Supreme Court of Nigeria said that was okay.
Yeah, so that's no longer an issue, isn't it?
No, why would it not be an issue?
The courts have settled it.
Yes, we agree. They have settled it. So that is why nobody can do anything about it. But our courts have been known to give very strange judgments. But that is another issue for another day. Okay? He inherited votes. Now, after Bello came into office, every election now turns out to be violent in KOGI. If I ask you to name one person in APC or Bello's this has been killed as a result of elections, you cannot name one. Neither can anybody do so. Okay?
What is that point supposed to
The point is very simple, that the violence is coming from Bello to other people. Okay? Other people are on the defensive. The last election, the helicopter was shooting from the air. We identified the people who were in that helicopter. One of them was a guy called Quincy, who is a thug of Bello. The second one was, what was his name? No, we identified them. It was a police helicopter. It was his agency that was in that helicopter. He shot at people.
Allegedly, right? You have to remember to say that, because you can't verify the information.
That the helicopter shot was allegedly, or the people were inside.
No, the people inside.
Okay, it was a Nigerian police helicopter.
Okay.
Where else can you?
Did you see the insignia of the police?
Yes.
Allegedly, you saw the insignia.
I didn't allegedly see it. I saw it.
You saw
it. How many other people saw it? The video is there. This is not in contest.
Right.
This is not in contest. Only how many months ago, one person left Natasha and I said, one person who was supporting Bello, his name was Shafi or so. He said he wasn't supporting Bello anymore. There are pictures. Natasha showed the pictures of Bello's chief of staff and this particular human being. The moment he crossed over and said he wasn't supporting Bello anymore and went over to Natasha, they invaded the Trademore Estate in Lugbe here.
Okay.
And said that the guy was a terrorist.
Okay.
Now, what I'm trying to say is that the tension, the violence is coming from one direction. Other people are defending themselves. Okay. Yes, they can. The politics in KOGI, the tension can go down if the governor agrees to abide by the rules. If he agrees not to abuse power, to torment and kill other people.
Okay. Just for the sake of this conversation, we do know that Governor Yahya Bello enjoys immunity, so clearly you can't take him to court to prosecute on anything. Are you planning to, after everything is said and done and he's no longer governor, are you planning to, because you appear to have a lot of evidence about all of these things that you're saying, are you planning to?
The evidences are glaring, even apart from electoral violence.
No, are you
even apart from the electoral violence, even evidences of crime, of corruption. The EFCC produced those evidences. They have seized his houses. They have garnished a lot of his accounts. These things have happened. Nobody can prosecute him for now. But by the grace of God, his tenure will be over. When his tenure is over, yes, we shall make moves to ensure that every crime committed by this fellow, he will be brought to book.
Right, okay, allegedly.
You like the word?
No, it's important to be very official about it. Okay, let's talk about the dynamics here, the power shift conversation. We have to circle back. KOGI East, has KOGI East produced a governor before?
Yes, KOGI East produced 2 governors, yes.
Okay, and
3 democratic governors. One person served 1 term. Yeah. One person served 1, right. 2 people served 1 term.
Okay.
1 person served 2 terms.
And Yabelo from Central just served 8 years.
Yes, 2 terms.
So for a lot of people watching, from inside KOGI and from outside KOGI, say, in the interest of fairness, it looks like it's the turn of KOGI West to produce the next governor of KOGI State. I
will not dispute that. I will not dispute that, if all of that is equal.
But your candidate is not from KOGI West.
My candidate is not from KOGI West, but I will tell you something. You see, you do not put something on nothing and expect it to stand. If you have an agreement, for instance, take for instance the APC presidential contest. The governors of the North came together and said, no, we're not backing the Northerner. We're not contesting. You should go to the South, because there's an agreement that you should go to the South. In KOGI, there's never been such an agreement. Every governorship primaries in all parties have always been contested by all the senatorial districts. There is no time that anybody emerged because he came from one tribe or the other. They have always emerged. Now, if you talk about primary, if you talk about the population of KOGI East, I will agree, yes. But if you talk about intra-party primaries, you will now know that KOGI East does not even enjoy any overwhelming population, because KOGI East has 7 local governments.
Is it 7 or 8?
I mean 9 local governments,
9. Right.
And the other parts have 12. We have 21 local governments.
You mean the other 2 senatorial?
Yes,
zones?
together they have 12.
Right.
Okay.
So it means KOGI East has 12, a majority.
Yes, we have majority when it comes to senatorial district issue. But when it comes to intra-party primaries, if you combine the 2 other senatorial districts, their delegates are always more than the delegates of KOGI East. Isn't it? Now, there is no agreement of, okay, this year, KOGI East will give it to you. After you serve your term, you sit down. It's going to be the turn of KOGI Central. After that, it's going to be the turn of KOGI West. There's no such agreement. Each time, all of us, all the candidates go to contest. And in AMPP in 1999, Abubakar Audu emerged from AMPP. Dr. What do you call him? Olorunfemi. Dr. Stephen Olorunfemi, late, both of them are late now, emerged from the PDP. After the election, Abubakar Audu won the election. And mark you, Olorunfemi got a lot of votes from KOGI East. Omala local government, for instance, where he had his running mate, Omala local government gave him overwhelming votes. So it's not as if it is always an ethnic thing, isn't it? Okay. In 2003, Abubakar Audu was still the candidate of the AMPP. Governor Idris and many other people ran for the PDP ticket. At the end of the day, it came down to 2 people. There was a runoff between Governor Idris and late Eti Ahmed. Right. When it came down to that runoff, Governor Idris defeated Eti Ahmed by simple majority. Now, if it is about ethnicity, the way it's being painted, 12 local governments against 9, with more delegates. Because the delegates of party is not based on the population of anybody. It is either based on ad hoc delegates, or statutory delegates.
Yeah, but I don't think your point stands, because those 2 senatorial districts are not under one umbrella. We're talking about one major ethnic group that has 9 local governments, for instance, yes, against 2 senatorial districts that has various other tribes within. So no, I don't think.
But I'm now telling you that two people emerged, one from KOGI East and one from KOGI Central.
Okay, can we agree?
You understand? So it is not as if the three senatorial presented candidates at the runoff. Only two presented candidates. So if Idris was able to get the majority of the votes, it means that from those 12 local governments, he must have gotten some more votes.
Can we say,
isn't it?
Can we say that back in 2003,
yes,
this identity politics wasn't an issue in KOGI State, but now, because Yahya Bello came from Central, served 8 years, and he has endorsed and anointed a candidate that is also coming from Central, and that is why these issues are now on the front burner.
Well, yes, in a way, yes. It's not just they are. It's not just. I mean, they are not just on the front burner because the person is from Central, but the manner. But you have, of course, you have hotly disputed that Yahya Bello wasn't the one who brought him in. It was, what did you call it, direct primaries and whatever.
When did I dispute that?
No, you did. You did.
I said he won the election through direct primaries. I never said Yahya Bello doesn't support him.
Okay, Yahya Bello, okay, I'm saying that Yahya Bello practically imposed him. Okay, that is what I am saying and I'm insisting. Now, this fellow, wait, sir. Yeah. This fellow is not only from Central.
Right.
He's from Yahya Bello's local government of Okene. He's from his ward. And it's Yahya Bello's blood relation. Okay? Now, they will now say ethnic politics. Even in Central, you think people are happy. Are they slaves to Yahya Bello? Must he be his brother? You
just mentioned, sorry to cut you, you just mentioned that your candidate is the best candidate, regardless of his ethnicity or the region he comes from.
Yes.
Why are you saying the same thing? Why aren't you saying the same thing about Ododo? Why does him being a relative of Yahya Bello matter? Why does him being from the same ward with Yahya Bello matter?
I don't want to talk about Ododo. What is his pedigree? Where is he coming from? Where is he coming from? Apart from being an aide of Yahya Bello, until recently he was the Auditor General of the local government. Local government where local government staff don't take salaries. Okay.
I mean, I don't expect you to speak glowingly of Ododo.
No, but these are facts now. These are facts.
Yeah, but he's still your opponent.
In KOGI State, till now. He said what?
He's still your opponent, so I don't expect that you're going to speak kindly.
Of course. I'm not supposed to be doing PR for my opponent, but that doesn't mean that whatever I say about him is false either. Okay? These are facts. He was Auditor General, local government staff in KOGI. I was a local government chairman. Apart from being a journalist, I was also a local government chairman. As at the time we left, if we were not able to pay full salaries because of the paucity of funds, at least the government comes out to explain. We go out to explain. We meet labor people who do all that. But as I talk to you today, either at the local government level or at the state government level, no civil servant can tell you how much he expects as a salary at the end of the month. He takes what he sees, if he gets at all. There are months they don't get. As I talk to you...
Allegedly, right?
Okay, you like the word. Allegedly. Okay, now, as I talk to you, as I speak to you, the political appointees of Yahya Bello are yet to collect April, May salary. It is June already. It is already June. They have not collected the salary, and even civil servants are being owed 2 months. Now, there are lots of backlog. Some of them as much as 26 months arrears, either half or full, that is there, they've not been paid. All right? Now, this is the man who is now bringing somebody who participated in this government that has not paid civil servants, little record of any infrastructure or anything at all. He's now bringing this man, and you expect the man to be as popular as a pristine candidate that we brought in the SDP, a candidate that has pedigree, a member, a former member of the National Working Committee of the APC, a highly regarded member of the National Working Committee of the APC, that has touched the lives of so many people.
Do you remember the result of the I think it was 2019 elections?
Yes.
The re-election bid of Yahya Bello.
Yes.
Do you remember the winning margin?
Yes. It was 300 and something to 100 and something. Yes.
All right. So clearly a landslide victory for him.
Why wouldn't be a landslide victory? Who else carries a helicopter to shoot at voters and manipulate results and will not have a landslide victory?
So
how do you do that? Okay, allegedly. How do you do that?
Right.
You understand? Who else kills people on election day? A 100 level student in Ayingba was shot by Ayebelo thugs on the election day. But several people died in that election.
I think you're...
And you coasted home with results.
Right. I think you are missing the point.
Yes.
He's still a popular governor as a 2019.
No, not at all, sir. Never.
So who are the 300,000 people that voted for him?
If he were that popular, those 300,000 so-called votes were written. They were written results. I'll give you an example. I will prove this to you.
No.
Okay, no, wait. I'll prove this to you.
Let's not litigate something.
No, wait. Yeah. The entire votes from the states, from about 19 local governments of the state, the entire votes from about 19 local governments of the state was barely above 250. From Okene, Okehi, and Adabi alone, they were able to produce 240,000 votes. And there was no biometric accreditation. It was incident forms. What are we talking about?
Was there a litigation after the election?
Yes, there was litigation.
What did the court say?
The court said it was fine.
So that's the end of the story.
I don't want to criticize the courts.
Right.
Because if I criticize the court, they will say this and that. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. So speak about your candidate, because you just talked about him being a member of the National Working Committee, and I've been trying to get my head around how that is, a standard of measurement for quality service delivery. You talk about him being the perfect candidate for KOGI State.
Yes.
Let's talk about what he's bringing to the table, and how that is a better deal compared to what the other major contestants are also proposing.
Okay. First and foremost, number one, what is the purpose of government in society? Government in society is supposed to provide welfare for the people. How do you provide welfare? You provide it through institutions. You provide it through, through your programs and all that. That's how you provide welfare. Infrastructure, education, health, and all that. Now, we have a candidate that is determined with a sound manifesto on how to improve infrastructure, how to improve IGR without taxing the people. There's this slave taxing. Okay, people are not even eating, and yet you want to tax them. Okay, now our candidate has a plan for infrastructure. Salaries shouldn't be a campaign issue in an ideal state. Salaries to workers. Workers are entitled to their wages. Nobody should use salary. When Abelo pays salaries, the next thing is that the Radio KOGI will announce that the governor has paid full salaries. Anytime you hear them say full salaries, they'll be bragging about it. Okay? That should tell you that is the exception, it's not the rule. If it is the rule, you don't need to announce that you are paying salaries. At the end of the month, a worker in Daily Trust, at the end of the month, you collect your salary. Daily Trust will not go and announce that we are paid our staff salary. Nobody does that.
It's Trust TV. It's Trust TV, actually.
I mean, Trust TV.
Right.
Trust organization. Okay? They will not go and announce that they are paid full salary or whatever. It is only when you are not used to paying that paying becomes news. But what I'm trying to say is this. We are going to ensure that every worker shall deserve his wage. Everybody will be paid. There shall be infrastructure.
Okay. Just before we go, because we're running short of time.
Yes.
I'm hearing a lot of the what, which is something that is a common denominator. Every politician can tell you what he wants to do. Talk about the how. Take one or two issues and explain to me how your candidate is actually trying to achieve it, beyond just the rhetoric of campaign messaging.
Okay, let's talk about infrastructure, for instance. If you go to Lokoja town, that is the state capital, and that should be the model for other towns in the state, isn't it? If you go to Lokoja town, a ride from Natako to Ganaja village, ordinarily, should take not less than 10 minutes. Okay, we're not talking of traffic now. Okay, even if there's traffic, it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. If you have ever traveled through KOGI, the moment you get to Natako, I am from KOGI East. The moment I get through Natako, Abuja to Natako, that is a part of Lokoja town. Abuja to Natako takes me about 2 hours. From Natako, within Lokoja, to Ganaja village takes me another 1 hour.
Right.
You know why? Potholes. Okay. The road is totally damaged, completely totally damaged. Now I'll tell you about that road.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, Mr. Farouk, I have to end the conversation here because we are completely out of time. Okay. Unfortunately, perhaps another time because I believe the campaigns are just getting started, and we'll find time to discuss more about some of these.
I'd like to come back and complete.
Thank you so much for coming on the program. Wish to see you very soon. All right, and that is a wrap on today's program. Many thanks for your time and company. Feel free to join us again when we return next for yet another edition of the program. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time and company. We'll see you soon.